At 78, Helen sat by the window of her new room in the nursing home, a cup of lukewarm tea in her hand, watching leaves drift down from an old oak tree outside. It wasn't that she disliked her new home. It was clean, the meals arrived on time, and the staff were kind enough, but something felt off. "Is this really where I thought I'd end up?" she whispered to herself. Across town, 82-year-old George was having a different kind of morning. He was setting up a chessboard in the common room, teasing his opponent with a grin. "You're going down today, Jim," he chuckled. For George, the move into a nursing home had felt like a release from daily burdens. No more worrying about groceries, climbing stairs, or the constant creaks and groans of an empty house. Both Helen and George had made the same decision, but they were living two very different realities. For many seniors, the transition into a nursing home stirs up a mix of emotions. There's often a sense of initial relief. No more housekeeping, meals are prepared, help is always nearby. But as time unfolds, that relief can sometimes give way to surprising, and sometimes painful regrets. It's easy to understand why. Moving into a nursing home often means giving up control over routines, space, and sometimes even the ability to make small personal decisions. That shift can trigger feelings of loss, confusion, or resentment. For Helen, it felt like she had traded her independence for safety, and the cost felt higher than she'd expected. George, on the other hand, saw it as reclaiming time he'd once spent managing the day-to-day grind. So why the difference? Often, it comes down to preparation, expectations, and how much say the person had in the move. That's why in this video, we're diving into the 7 biggest regrets people often have after moving into a nursing home, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. Whether you're like Helen, still wondering if this is the right place, or like George, settling in comfortably, understanding these potential regrets can empower you or a loved one to make choices that lead to a more fulfilling, positive experience. Let's start with the first, and perhaps most common regret: losing independence. When you picture life in a nursing home, you might imagine a place where the housekeeping is taken care of, your medications are managed for you, and there's a calendar full of group activities to join. That sounds like a relief, doesn't it? But then once you're there, the reality can be different. Many people experience the loss of independence as one of the hardest things to adjust to. It's not just about someone else doing things for you, it's the constant reminder that you can't just pick up and go when you want. Your schedule is often set by the facility, and the choices you once had about how you spend your day become limited. For 81-year-old Frank, moving into a nursing home felt like hitting the brakes on life. Back in his own home, he was used to waking up and eating when he wanted, and heading out for his afternoon walks around the neighborhood. "I didn't think I'd miss choosing when to take a shower," he said, "until someone started deciding that for me." Frank had pictured the transition as a relief: no more yard work, no more heavy lifting, no more worrying about falling. And in many ways, it was easier. Meals appeared on time, laundry vanished and came back folded, and there was always someone nearby to help. But what he hadn't anticipated was the sense of restriction. The daily schedule wasn't his to control. Wanting a late breakfast? Not an option. Taking a walk at dusk? Not encouraged. It wasn't just the tasks he was giving up, it was the freedom to choose. Meanwhile, 76-year-old Marcus, who had moved into a different facility just 2 weeks earlier, was having a very different experience. "I told them from the start, if I can still tie my shoes, I'm going to keep tying them." Marcus had visited several nursing homes before making his choice, asking questions not just about healthcare but about autonomy. The place he chose allowed flexible meal times, let him keep his gardening hobby with a small planter on the patio, and even encouraged him to teach a weekly photography class to other residents. Marcus and Frank both needed help. But Marcus had found a place that supported his independence, while Frank felt like he had surrendered it. Here's the thing: independence isn't just about doing things for yourself. It's about the ability to make decisions that shape your day-to-day life. That feeling of control, whether it's deciding when you eat, when you sleep, or when you go for a walk, becomes vital. And when that's taken away, it can lead to frustration, and over time, feelings of helplessness. But what if you could maintain some of that control, even within a nursing home? It's all about knowing what options are available and speaking up for yourself. Start by researching facilities that emphasize personalized care. Look for homes that offer flexible schedules or allow you to make choices about how your day unfolds. Also, don't hesitate to have a conversation with your care team about the level of independence you can maintain. A good nursing home will work with you to make sure you feel empowered, even if you need assistance with certain things. And it's not just about your daily routine. Maintaining hobbies or activities you love is another way to hold on to your independence. Whether it's reading, gardening, or painting, make sure the facility you choose encourages personal activities. If it doesn't, consider bringing your hobbies with you. Start a knitting group, or ask if there's space for you to do things on your own. Little things like this can make a huge difference in how independent you feel. Have you or someone you know experienced this kind of shift in independence after moving into a nursing home? What was the biggest adjustment, and how did you handle it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might just help someone else going through the same thing. Let's move on to another common regret: feeling isolated. When people move into a nursing home, it's easy to assume they'll be surrounded by new friends, lively conversation, and lots of social interaction. After all, there are plenty of people around, right? But the reality can sometimes be more solitary than anticipated. When 79-year-old Dolores moved into a nursing home, she pictured lively lunches, afternoon chats on the patio, and a calendar full of activities to enjoy with new friends. "I thought it would feel like a college dorm for seniors," she joked, "just with more Tylenol." But within weeks, reality set in. Although the hallways were rarely empty, the atmosphere felt more like a hospital waiting room than a vibrant social community. Conversations were polite but short. Most residents kept to themselves, or stuck with the small groups they'd already formed. Dolores, who had been used to seeing her neighbors and grandchildren almost daily, found the quiet especially hard. "It's strange," she said, "you're never really alone, but you feel lonely all the same." Meanwhile, 83-year-old Jean had a different story. She'd moved into her facility around the same time, but with a plan. A retired librarian with a love for storytelling, she signed up to lead a weekly book club before even unpacking her bags. When she noticed the garden out back was underused, she started an informal flower watering crew. "I figured if I waited for people to knock on my door, I'd be waiting forever," Jean said, "so I decided to do the knocking." Jean and Dolores both entered nursing homes expecting connection, but only one took active steps to create it. It's easy to become isolated, even in a nursing home. You might be surrounded by people, yet still feel alone, like being at a crowded bus stop where no one talks. The buzz of activity is there, but real connection can be surprisingly hard to find. This can be particularly tough if you're someone who's used to having friends or family visit frequently. At some point, many people realized that the transition to the nursing home wasn't just about changing their living arrangements, it was also about changing their social environment. And sometimes, that change is harder than they expected. Here's the key to avoiding this regret: be proactive about making connections. Don't wait for friendships to happen on their own. If the nursing home offers group activities or social events, make it a point to attend. If you're unsure about what's available, ask. Most facilities offer all sorts of options, from movie nights and book clubs to fitness classes and arts and crafts. If you don't find something that interests you right away, take the lead. Organize a game night or start a walking group. Not only does this give you a chance to connect with others, but it also gives you a sense of purpose. If you're not into group activities, consider finding a quiet corner where you can read, write, or work on a hobby. Having these personal outlets can help combat loneliness. Family can also play a big role in alleviating isolation. Don't hesitate to set up regular visits with your loved ones. Even if they can't visit in person every day, setting up weekly video calls or phone chats can help maintain that crucial connection with the outside world. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support means a lot and helps us keep bringing you valuable content. Now let's continue, with the regret that can feel even more frustrating, not being involved in your care decisions. When you move into a nursing home, it can feel like the decision-making process shifts entirely away from you. You may find yourself with doctors, nurses, and administrators making decisions about your care, your medications, and your daily routine without your input. For many people, this can feel like another layer of control being stripped away. And if you feel like you're no longer part of the process, it can lead to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness. When 85-year-old Ruth moved into a nursing home, she assumed the biggest adjustment would be the new environment. What she didn't expect was how quickly her voice seemed to disappear. "One day I was choosing my own doctors and medications," she said, "and the next, people were making decisions for me without even asking what I thought." From meal choices to medication schedules, she felt like her preferences didn't matter anymore. "They meant well," she added, "but I wasn't part of the conversation, and that made me feel invisible." Just down the hall, 74-year-old Linda was having a very different experience. Before her first day, Linda brought her daughter to meet the care team, asked to review the facility's resident rights policy, and requested to sit in on every care plan meeting. She also made sure her primary care doctor stayed in the loop. "I knew I'd need help," she said, "but I wasn't about to hand over the keys to my life." Ruth and Linda both needed care, but only one felt like she remained in the driver's seat. The good news is, this regret is one of the most avoidable. The key to being involved in your care decisions is to advocate for yourself. Right from the beginning, when you first enter a facility, you need to establish a good relationship with the nursing staff and care team. Ask questions about everything. If you don't understand something, ask for clarification. Don't assume that everyone automatically knows what's best for you. Your experiences, preferences, and desires matter. One way to stay involved is to designate an advocate, someone you trust who can help make decisions on your behalf when you're not able to. This could be a family member, a close friend, or even a lawyer. Having someone on your side who can make sure your voice is heard can ease your mind and ensure that the care you receive aligns with your wishes. Another important step is to review your care plan regularly. Every few months, you should sit down with your care team and discuss any changes in your health, treatment options, or overall care. This is a great opportunity to make sure you're still on track with your goals and desires, and it's your chance to speak up if something isn't working for you. By staying actively involved, you not only ensure you're getting the right care but also maintain a sense of control over your life, which is essential to your overall well-being. When 88-year-old Harold moved into the nursing home, he felt a strange mix of relief and resignation. No more shoveling snow, no more worrying about slipping in the shower, but also, no more long walks around the block or tinkering in the garage. "I figured I'd earned the right to rest," he said with a shrug, "so I did." At first, Harold enjoyed the slower pace. He slept in, skipped the morning exercise group, and let the staff wheel him around even though he could still walk short distances. But within a few months, he noticed his legs feeling weaker, stairs becoming harder, and everyday movements, like getting out of bed, taking more effort than they used to. "I thought I was just aging," he admitted, "but really, I was just letting myself decline." Then there's 73-year-old Tom, who moved into the same facility 6 months later with a different mindset. "My doctor told me if you want to stay out of a wheelchair, you have to keep moving," Tom recalled. So that's what he did. Every morning, Tom walks 2 laps around the courtyard before breakfast. He keeps resistance bands in his room for light stretching and joins the facility's balance and mobility class 3 times a week. "I may not be fast," he grinned, "but I'm moving." one of the most overlooked regrets in nursing homes is letting physical health slide. It's easy to fall into a routine where you're no longer doing the things you used to, like taking regular walks or stretching in the morning. And with the limited mobility that often comes with age, it's tempting to simply rest more than move. But not maintaining your physical health, even in small ways, can lead to a rapid decline in strength, balance, and overall energy. For many seniors, this is a regret they realize too late. They wish they had kept moving, even if it was just a short walk around the facility or a few stretches each day. Physical health doesn't just impact your body, it has a direct effect on your mood and mental clarity as well. Staying physically active helps boost your energy, improves your mood, and keeps you feeling mentally sharp. It also helps prevent common issues like joint stiffness, muscle atrophy, and falls. The great news here is that small changes can make a huge difference. Nursing homes often offer exercise programs tailored to seniors, but if you find that your facility doesn't provide enough options, don't hesitate to take matters into your own hands. Talk to your caregivers about setting up a simple routine. This could be as easy as a daily walk around the facility or participating in stretching exercises. And remember, you don't need to push yourself to the limit. Just a few minutes a day can be enough to keep your body strong and your mind engaged. You might also want to find a physical therapy program if you have specific needs, like improving your balance or flexibility. If that's not an option, ask about other wellness activities you can do independently. Even just standing up and sitting down a few times a day can help you maintain your strength. These small, consistent actions add up, and they'll help you feel more energized and less prone to fatigue. Have you or a loved one experienced changes in physical health after moving into a nursing home? What small habits or routines helped make a difference? Share your story in the comments. Your insight could help someone else stay strong and independent. At 80, Joan thought moving into a nursing home would be a welcome break. For the first time in decades, she didn't have a to-do list, appointments to juggle, or errands to run. "I figured I'd just relax," she said. And for the first few weeks, that's exactly what she did. She slept in, watched TV, went to meals, and spent her afternoons people watching from the window of the common room. But soon, the days started blending together. "I stopped looking forward to things," she admitted. "Every day felt like Tuesday." Without responsibilities or something meaningful to aim for, Joan began to feel adrift. She wasn't unhappy exactly, just disconnected, like she was floating through time without purpose. That feeling slowly turned into restlessness, and then, into sadness. Just down the hall, 77-year-old Clarice was experiencing something entirely different. A former teacher, Clarice had always thrived on learning and sharing knowledge. So when she moved into the facility, she brought that spirit with her. Within the first month, she started a weekly trivia group, began brushing up on her Spanish, and even joined an online class about gardening techniques. "I didn't want to just pass the time," Clarice said. "I wanted to use it." Joan and Clarice were living under the same roof, but had vastly different experiences. One felt like the days were slipping away, the other made each one count. Losing a sense of purpose is one of the quietest but most painful regrets many people face after moving into a nursing home. Especially if you've spent your life caring for others, managing a home, or building a career, the sudden loss of structure and responsibility can leave a void. Without new goals to replace the old ones, it's easy to feel like you're no longer growing, and that can lead to feelings of stagnation or even depression. But there's hope. This is a regret you can absolutely prevent. Start by setting new goals, ones that excite you. They don't have to be huge or complicated. Maybe it's learning to knit, reading 5 new books, joining a choir, or walking a certain number of steps each day. Maybe you finally have time to study a topic you've always been curious about, art history, meditation, family genealogy. Or maybe it's as simple as writing letters to your grandchildren or volunteering to help plan holiday events at the facility. Clarice made it a point to ask herself, "What's something I've always wanted to try, but never had the time for. And then she followed through. That sense of direction keeps her motivated and fulfilled. As for Joan, things are beginning to shift. After some encouragement from staff and a new friend at lunch, she recently joined a poetry group and signed up to help with the facility newsletter. "It's the first time in a while I've felt like myself again," she said, smiling. Don't let your days drift by. Fill them with purpose, even small ones, and you'll find that life inside a nursing home doesn't have to feel like the end of something. It can be the start of something entirely new. What goals or passions keep you going, or what new ones would you like to explore? Share in the comments. Your ideas might just inspire someone else to rediscover their spark. As we continue exploring these common regrets, let's talk about something that can often be overlooked, but is crucial for peace of mind: not planning for the future. When moving into a nursing home, the future may seem a little distant, and it's easy to focus only on your immediate needs, like settling in, meeting new people, and adjusting to your new environment. But one of the biggest regrets people have later on is not having a clear plan for the future. This includes everything from finances to healthcare decisions, to what will happen if your situation changes over time. Without planning, you might find yourself facing unexpected challenges, like rising costs, changes in your care needs, or issues with your family. When 82-year-old Odessa moved into her nursing home, she focused on getting comfortable in her new surroundings, decorating her room with vibrant quilts, joining the book club, and chatting with the aides like old friends. "I didn't want to think too far ahead," she admitted. "I figured I'd deal with things as they came." And for a while, that approach worked. But when her health shifted unexpectedly and she needed more intensive care, the lack of a long-term plan quickly became a burden. Her children were unsure of her wishes, financial decisions had to be made on the fly, and the entire family felt overwhelmed. Across town, 79-year-old Bartholomew, who goes by Bart, took a different path. Before ever unpacking his bags, Bart sat down with his son and laid everything out: how he wanted his care handled, how his finances were arranged, and even his preference for jazz over hymns if things got serious. "It wasn't a cheerful chat," Bart said, "but it saved us all from a lot of confusion down the line." Odessa and Bart moved into senior care with similar needs, but they ended up on very different journeys. One waited for problems to arise. The other planned ahead. Fortunately, planning ahead can help you avoid a lot of unnecessary stress. Start by having a conversation with your loved ones about your wishes for the future. This could be anything from what kind of medical care you want, to where you want to live, or how you want your finances managed. It's important that your family knows what you want, especially in case you become unable to communicate those wishes. Another key part of planning for the future is making sure your financial situation is in order. Talk to a financial planner or attorney about how you can best manage your money and ensure that you're not burdened by unnecessary costs in the years to come. Planning for long-term care, understanding insurance options, and saving as much as you can now can help protect you and your family down the road. Having these conversations and making these plans now will give you peace of mind and prevent a lot of stress later. Lastly, think about your care preferences over the long term. For instance, if your health declines and you need more assistance, do you want to stay in the nursing home, or would you prefer another setting? Having this conversation now helps you avoid surprises and ensures that your needs are met exactly how you want. Now, let's talk about something that hits home for many people: the regret of losing touch with friends and family after moving into a nursing home. It's not uncommon for seniors to feel isolated, especially if they don't have regular visitors or if family members live far away. Over time, it can feel like you're drifting away from the people you love, and that can leave you with a sense of loneliness that's hard to shake. Take Leonard, 84, who assumed staying in touch with family would be easy when he moved into his nursing home. After all, he had 3 grown children and a handful of grandkids who used to visit him regularly at home. But weeks passed, then months, and the calls came less often. Everyone was busy. One daughter lived in another state. Another just had a baby. I didn't want to bother them, Leonard said. So I waited for them to reach out. And then, it got quiet. That silence settled in like fog. Even though staff were kind and other residents lived just down the hall, Leonard found himself eating meals alone and watching TV in silence. I felt like I'd vanished, he said. Still here, but out of sight, out of mind. By contrast, 78-year-old Darius approached things differently. Before he even unpacked, he set up weekly FaceTime calls with his son and scheduled a Sunday afternoon Zoom with his nieces and nephews. He asked his grandson to help create a family group chat where they could swap photos, jokes, and updates. If I can't be there in person, I'll be present in other ways, he said. Darius also became something of a social glue in his facility, joining the morning coffee group, organizing card games, and even inviting fellow residents to watch old westerns together. If you wait for people to come to you, he said, you might be waiting a long time. Sometimes, you have to go first. Leonard and Darius both made the move to a nursing home, but they experienced connection in very different ways. Darius built a bridge between his old world and his new one. Leonard drifted quietly into isolation. But here's the thing, you don't have to let this happen. Staying connected to loved ones is essential for your emotional well-being. Technology has made it easier than ever to stay in touch. Video calls, emails, and even social media can help bridge the gap and keep you involved in family activities, even if you can't physically be there. Another great option is having regular visits. You can set up a schedule with your family so that they visit you at least once a week, or even more often if that's possible. If visits in person aren't always practical, perhaps you could set up a regular phone call or create a group chat where family members share updates and photos. These small, but consistent efforts can make a world of difference in your emotional health. If you don't have family nearby, consider developing new friendships within your nursing home community. Socializing with other residents can help combat loneliness and create new bonds. Many nursing homes offer group activities or social hours, which can be a great way to meet new people and develop meaningful relationships. You'd be surprised how much of an impact regular conversations and shared activities can have on your overall happiness. Have you found a way to stay close to family or make new friendships in a care setting? What's worked for you, or what do you wish you'd done differently? Share your experience in the comments, it might help someone else take the first step toward reconnecting. I want to remind you that it's never too late to make changes. Whether it's getting more involved in your care, staying physically active, or planning ahead for the future, small steps today can lead to big improvements tomorrow. And most importantly, you are not alone. There are resources and people who can help you, no matter where you are in your journey. Remember, it's about finding balance. While a nursing home can feel like a big change, it doesn't have to be the end of your active, fulfilling life. You can still pursue new interests, maintain connections, and make decisions about your care that work for you. The key is to stay engaged, keep learning, and above all, never give up on creating the life you want. I hope today's video has given you some valuable insights into the potential regrets you might face when moving into a nursing home, and more importantly, how to avoid them. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and advice for navigating the challenges of nursing home life. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more practical tips to help you feel your best in your golden years. And if you found this helpful, share it with a friend who might benefit. Because here's the truth, we're all in this together, and every small step toward a more fulfilling life is worth celebrating. Until next time, remember this, you are capable of more than you know. Here's to living all your days with strength, connection, and dignity.